Welcome everyone to today's video. We have some big news that is just released for AMC, so we're going to be going through that. Now, don't forget to like this video as it does help out this channel a lot, and it lets me know to continue to make videos like this for you. So if we get 500 likes once again on this video, I will do another video for tomorrow and another AMC update. But let's talk about AMC because today was a big day because we actually ended on a minus 4.88%. So it was a pretty massive red day. I do have to agree. It did close at $2.34, and we are currently sitting at the support zone once again. So it has definitely been a pretty interesting time. Now, there are obviously other factors that have come into play as of recent, because what we actually do see is that the whole stock market has been falling, or did actually fall, over the last couple of days or so. So that is definitely one of the big causes for it. Now, this has acted as support before, as we see. Let me just make it a little bit more smaller, just so it's a bit easier to see. So it has actually acted as support in the past as well. In the past. So this level has been, or isn't anything new to us. But, coming into this, sort of next couple of days, it is going to be interesting to see how the market does turn, because we are obviously in a lot of overpriced situations. There's a lot of news around when it comes to just external factors saying that, stock market's overpriced, AI companies are starting to get a little bit overpriced. All these different things are kind of being rumored about the general stock market, and it definitely has taken a massive effect on AMC specifically. Now, when it comes to the actual, trends that we are seeing, we are currently seeing the same sort of falling wedge continue to form. Obviously, it had broken the original sort of support line that we did think it would stay above. That is just, natural things happen in a sense that, obviously there are other external factors like the stock market in general not doing very well. But the thing that does keep the hopes alive, and something that should keep you alive when it comes to the play, is due to the fact that we are still in very oversold positions when we actually look at a lot of indicators. We have the stochastic and also MACD here to show you, but other indicators also do show very oversold positions, which is why we are expecting a reversal, somewhat soon. So we definitely are facing a little bit of two battles here. Obviously, AMC is getting a lot of dark pool movement, off exchange movement, all these different things. And on top of that, with the stock market in general not doing very well and being in a bearish sort of market, or turning into a bearish sort of market, it doesn't really help AMC, unfortunately. Now, we do know when it comes to AMC in general, the play is very different when it comes to other stocks out there. This isn't just a technical analysis play. There's a lot to it. But when we look on a technical analysis basis, we do see some very key points and key things when it comes to what we are expecting over the next couple of days. So we definitely could see a lot of movement within these areas, but we are expecting a lot of people to buy in, during this sort of demand zone, as I like to call it. So this area I like to call the demand zone, where we are seeing a lot of purchasing, a lot of buying, a lot of volume starts to come in. And we start to see people not wanting to sell at these levels as well. So that's what's really going to help the reversal. The stochastic shows that, the MACD shows that, and we are just following as well with what those indicators are telling us as well. But let's talk a little bit more outside technical analysis. Let's look at the off exchange. We actually did have a 69.96%, off exchange day. Now it's 12.9 million, and on top of that, New York Stock Exchange had 8.37% with 1.5 million. So it does say here today's off exchange and dark pool volume is 12.9 million, which is 69.96% of today's volume. Today's lit volume is 5.5 million, which is 30.04%. So over the past 30 days, the average off exchange and dark pool volume has been 71.96%. Average lit volume has been 28.04. So very interesting to see there. Obviously, looking at AMC, it hasn't really, it is technically still high when it comes to off exchange, but it is a lot lower than we have seen in the past. And I think that's what's the crazy thing about it. The fact that, an 80% off exchange day, a 78% off exchange day is considered normal now, and a 69% off exchange day is considered kind of good. So a little bit interesting to see in that sense, but obviously off exchange is still very, very high. Now looking at the total volume or total short volume reported, 41.44, slightly lower than the day before. Total volume reported was 14.2 million, very different or a lot higher than the day before as well. And we also saw the total long volume reported of 58.56 with a 57.85 as the actual, the day before. So, when we look at those numbers, definitely a lot of things to be mentioned. When we look at NASDAQ BX, we also at 5.25, NASDAQ PHLX at 9.09. So a lot of key things there for sure. But let's talk about, the actual news that has been coming out as of lately, because there is a lot of things that people on Twitter are also pointing out on top of, what is actually going on. But looking at this post, we had this post from someone from X that said 30-day above 72% of all trades routed to dark pools. Told you we would hit it by the end of the week, and we're only halfway home. So, interesting to see there. Now, looking at this post, we had this one. UBS dropped 4,537% ownership bomb on AMC and has accidentally exposed the whole synthetic circus. If AMC's plumbing is flooding like this, GME's basement is basically Atlantis. Same swap chains, same fake borrow loops, same hidden short machinery, except GME's exposure way deeper. Once the synthetic borrow's well runs dry, head starts sweating, Gamma wakes up, and the chart starts doing parkour. Funny how the filings tell the truth even when the systems won't. So this is really interesting. We see our AMC to GME synthetic explosion, synthetic long exposure ownership 4.5K or 4,500%. Synthetic shorting system starts to crumble, same hidden short mechanisms, much deeper synthetic exposure, supply of fake borrow dries up, increased short hedge pressure, gamma risk accelerates, a massive GME upside move. So, GME obviously is a big component in this. It is considered, I would say, or some people do like to say, the bigger sort of meme stock in this play, but AMC has definitely had its place and is having its place in this whole debate with GME and AMC. So a lot of people like to be in both. Some people prefer GME, some people prefer AMC. That is just the way, the cookie crumbles sometimes. But I do believe they are in the same boat. And a lot of people are looking at both and waiting to see what happens with one, because it may have an effect on the other for sure. So very good post by Wiz, and I think it is really, smart to show how and what is actually going on behind the scenes when it comes to the flow of things, and this flow chart really explains that very well. Now, looking at this post from Adam Aron himself, CEO of AMC. He said, AMC already uses AI to become more efficient. We also will deploy AI to dazzle our guests. In that pursuit, we made a multi-million-dollar investment in Nova Sky Stories. Nova stages massive, mind-blowing, and beautiful aerial drone light shows. Thousands of drones powered by AI. So, very interesting to see. Obviously, Adam Aron has definitely had a big say about AI in the past, but it does seem that he is changing his ways. He is starting to, use AI, all these different things that can make the business more efficient, require more revenue or garner more revenue, which can definitely help it in the long run for sure. So I think it is great that Adam Aron is definitely looking to innovate in that way. Now, there is a lot of chatter. Some people do like him, some people don't. At the end of the day, right now, he is a CEO, and we definitely still have to keep an eye on what he does for sure. But when it comes to, ideas like this, I have to admit it is still a good idea. It's good that he is looking to try to innovate, which I think is amazing there. But, obviously, everyone has their own opinion on Adam Aron for sure. Now, looking at this next post, you had AMC down by almost 5% on zero bad news again. Zero. AMC is the biggest crime scene in economic history. Now, I definitely see something very interesting, right? Because obviously Cinemark did go down, and that is definitely due to the general sort of stock market and the way it has been moving. But a big thing that I do believe is happening behind the scenes, that when it comes to AMC, yes, we are expecting a red day, but there is a lot of dark pool action. There is a lot of price manipulation that is going on that is pushing the price further than what the stock market or the general stock market would actually push it down. For it to go down 4.88% is kind of insane for sure. And it is interesting to see just how much it actually has gone, lower compared to other cinema sort of niche companies out there, whether it's Cinemark or the others. So, coming into the next sort of phase, as we do know, or we are expecting a little bit of a bearish sort of market for a little bit. Hopefully, AMC still remains very, very strong during these times. And, you as an investor, as a hodler, could or should definitely continue to hold. And I know some people are even buying more as well, which I think is great news as well. But overall, I do believe AMC and the shorters behind it are going to try their best and try to push this down as much as they can during this time. But us remaining diamond hands, remaining and holding strong is definitely what's going to push AMC to, a greater sort of escape once this bullish era or bullish time starts very soon. Now, getting into the next post, we had this post from Practical Stocks that AMC short interest climbs to 55 million shares, according to Ortex. So that is honestly insane. 55 million shares is ridiculous. We also had this some comments. If anyone averages is above 5.58, you're effed, and Fatso will see it too. So honestly, really, really interesting to see when it comes to that. 55 million shares is insane, to be honest. Okay. Now we had this post. I just updated the numbers. AMC Theaters yearly revenue versus corporate debt 2016 to 2024. Year 25 is estimated. So we see corporate borrowings and we also see total revenues. So we do see some sort of, I would say some sort of correlation in some sense. Nothing really too drastic, but definitely still some correlation. It is a very small sample to go off, but we do see that when corporate borrowings start to decrease, we actually see total revenues start to increase as well. So like I've always said, I can't, really justify saying this is a complete sort of correlation because it is still a pretty small sample size to go off. But judging from this is what we are seeing for sure. Now we had this, who also was from Adam Aaron, who said, will you be in Los Angeles this Saturday night? You can see the genius of Nova Sky stories for yourself at the Rose Bowl. Be dazzled by Nova's drone art show set to classical music from Vivaldi and also to Tchaikovsky. AMC Stub members get a 20% ticket price discount. So very good to see Adam Aaron and the rest of AMC continue to innovate, as we've mentioned before. And we are hoping that innovation continues on into the next phases of AMC for sure. But we had this post. All right. Now, obviously the video is not that important. It is obviously a trailer for the Super Mario Galaxy movie. But we also had this post. This film will be huge, at least 500 million domestically, 1 billion global, and with a release in April, the first large tentpole of 2026. And a great start to Q2 2026 as well. So, I think it is really good to see a lot of these movies are coming out, whether it's a Super Mario Galaxy. We also have Toy Story coming out. Devil Wears Prada, I know, is also coming out. And this post actually mentioned it here. Super Mario Galaxy, you had Michael, Devil Wears Prada, Mortal Kombat, Mando and Grogu, Toy Story 5. So a lot of big major movies are coming out in 2026, which what is, setting up kind of AMC for a really, really good future, or a really good 2026 for sure. So that's definitely something you want to keep an eye out for, because I definitely see something really brewing in 2026 for AMC, and especially with Adam Aaron, if he does continue to innovate, we could see, some big moves next year and also or late, this year as well for sure.